Hello, YouTube. This is Uncle Barrett tuning in with you today, just doing some more brain dumping. Today, I kind of wanted to talk about just my reactions to the NFL draft and kind of just some news going around in the sports world a little bit. Talking about the Shannon Sharps situation. But the Titans picked Cam Ward, number one overall. As a Titans fan, I'm super excited. I'm not going to say that Cam Ward is like a Peyton Manning or just like the best quarterback coming out ever. But I do think that he'll help the Titans locker room out. From what I've seen and heard, he sounds like a leader. And to play quarterback, I feel like that's a big attribute that you need to have. You need to have quality leadership qualities. And I'm really excited just to see like what he does in the locker room. I think there was a report saying that um, when he was at Miami during the maybe spring or summer camp. Um, One of his receivers was throwing or catching balls from Lamar Jackson, I believe, and he called his teammate and said, "If you don't throw balls or catch balls with us as a team, I'm not giving you the ball this season." And honestly, I think that attitude is kind of what the Titans need. The Titans have talent, but they don't really have like really great leadership, I would say. I mean, they got Jeffrey Simmons and he's cool, but they need someone who's going to be like, this is the standard and this is where we're going, and you guys need to fall in line so we can get there, kind of a guy. And I feel like he's the type of dude that can back up that type of confidence because of where he's come from. I mean, to my understanding, he had zero stars coming out of high school. um, if you follow college sports, you know that um, high schools or high schoolers are ranked going into college by stars from, I guess, 0 to 5 stars. And so Cam Moore had 0 stars coming out of high school. Not necessarily because he sucked, but because of the type of offense that they were running. But yeah, I'm really excited to see like what he does like with the locker room and how he approaches. He seems like kind of like a no nonsense kind of a guy. Um, I'm sure he jokes around when he does, but he seems like he's all about his business, and I'm all for it. Especially, um, I just feel like we haven't really had that in a quarterback in so long. The last time we were this excited about a quarterback being picked up was with Marcus Mariota, and he had a lot of talent, but I felt like he was just a little soft spoken, I guess. And I feel like Cam is going to be a dog for real in the locker room and just, speak up and hold people accountable is what I think. And I feel like if you can get that out of your leader, I feel like that's a ripple effect throughout your locker room as far as, breeding and grooming leaders. So I'm all for it. So I'm excited about that. Um, so the next thing I kind of want to talk about is Shedeur falling out of the first round. I wasn't expecting that. I thought that maybe the Raiders might pick him up, maybe the Cowboys. I don't know, but I wasn't expecting him to fall completely out of the first round. Now, make no mistake, he can still ball out in the NFL. It doesn't matter what round you're in. I mean, Tom Brady got picked in the sixth round, so it just depends on your work ethic and how you approach the game. But with that being said, I think what messed him up was he, he was trying to be like his daddy too much, or he was relying off of his dad's success. I've heard in a couple of interviews saying, "Do you know who my dad is?" And do you know the sacrifice? Like you keep intertwining your name with his name. Dion is legendary because Dion has the receipts. I mean, he did legendary things in the league at the highest levels, and so um, as his son, I would imagine that you're very proud of him and that you look up to him. But so far, you yourself haven't done anything in the league, and I think it messed him up when Dion said that he was going to go first round and that he would have his pick of the first round, or that he would reject certain teams that would try to get him if his dad didn't approve of him. And I'm like, that's kind of Like I get it. You want your kids to have the best success that they can or the best opportunities that they can so that they can succeed. But in this situation, I mean, if your confidence is coming in from who your dad is, there's nothing wrong with that. But just know that the rest of the people really might not fall for that, you know. And so, I mean, I kind of felt bad for him, you know, because I feel like deep down inside, I mean, he may come across a little arrogant a little bit, but I think it's just because he's trying to be like his dad. But overall, I think that he's probably just a good guy. You know, he loves his family. Um, he did lead his team, the Colorado Buffs and Jackson State, to better records and better seasons. So who's to say he can't do that at the next level? It just depends on his approach, you know. Um, to me, um, when I was thinking about the differences between Cam Ward and Shedeur, not saying that Shedeur doesn't put in work, but to me, Cam just seems like, see, Cam didn't have a Deion Sanders in his back corner, and no one was giving him a chance, so he had to really grind to stand out and to set himself apart. Whereas Shedeur, would you be as good if your dad wasn't in your corner? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like you've only been coached by him, you know? And so best of luck to you, young man. I hope that maybe somebody picks you up in the second round and that you don't fall too far. But even if you do fall, if you get drafted, I just hope that wherever you go, that you just keep your head down, work hard, be there for your team, and focus on ball. You know what I mean? Like this is your career now. I know that you got your music and stuff going on, but I mean, if you're trying to be legendary, you got to put in legendary work. And I know a lot of people are saying that, well, Shedeur was trained by Tom Brady and whatnot. Tom Brady himself, I remember in a clip, told Shedeur that you need to get your butt into the film room. And little conversations like that are kind of telling. Like, I mean, it's one thing to go tell somebody that they need to go do this, but you got one quarterback in Cam Ward saying that I don't write songs, I play football. And then on the other hand, you have Tom Brady, who's the GOAT, telling Shedeur, like, you need to go study. And then Shedeur is kind of like laughing it off. So to me, it's maybe a thing of maybe not taking the game as seriously. I don't know. But I do know that, if you're trying to be all this big, have this big star mentality, big chains, I've arrived type stuff, you got to back it up. And, I think, I'm not saying that you didn't have great games or good moments, but I think that game with BYU, um, after the whole Travis Hunter thing kind of blew up with his girl, I think that was telling because I think the league was looking at you to see if you could handle uh, pressure moments, I didn't look at one Colorado game really because, I mean, this ain't my favorite team. I really don't follow them like that. But after that Travis Hunter situation, I mean, I was looking at that game just to see how y'all really played and balled out. And y'all didn't really show up in that game. I think the rest of the league saw that. But that's just my 2 cents on that situation. Just wishing the best of luck to Shedeur, and hopefully, whatever team does pick him is the right fit for him, and hopefully he approaches the game as if he's by himself, like he has nothing to lose. Like he just got to go grind out as if there's no tomorrow. But I kind of want to pause for a second. I'm gonna talk about Travis Hunter a little bit, but with the Shannon Sharp situation, man, like it's kind of wild. Because for me, this is like the second time or whatever that he's kind of had his business out there like that in terms of like sexual activity, I guess. And so, to my understanding, ESPN let him go, and um, he has this girl that's wanting $50 million from him because of he sexually assaulted her or whatever. But I'll say this: I'm not saying because I wasn't there. To me, when I'm reading the text and hearing the conversation, it sounds like they may have had. It sounds like they may have dated for a little bit or had a little thing going on. But to me, she didn't seem like she was in distress. There are people who really go through stuff and get raped. And to me, if you're getting raped or really don't want somebody to do something, you're fighting and you're running, trying to get away from the situation. So for this girl, my question is, where's her dad? Why isn't her dad or her mom saying, why were you on the internet in the first place? I'm gonna tell you girls something. Um, there's a saying that you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. And I think today's girls think that if I go on the internet and show my butt or my breast or uh, you know show myself off as a sexual person, that I'm going to attract somebody with money or attract the man that I want, just have my options or whatever. I feel that's what the way a lot of women are approaching the game these days. But my thing with that is you can do that, but you're probably going to attract a dog or somebody who probably doesn't care about you that much if you present yourself that way. And so just like a man can't turn a hoe into a housewife, I think these girls think that, well, I'm just going to allure him with my sex and, maybe date him and, he's going to be doing things that I want him to do. So even if he is a dog, if he's paying for it, he must really like me. So maybe I can change him into my boyfriend or just like have control over him like that. And again, I'm not saying Shannon Sharp is a good person. I'm just looking at her saying, you're crying rape, but see your actions attracted someone with a mindset like that is what I'm saying. There's no way you can get on the internet and show all your titties and your breasts and expect not to attract dogs. I'm sorry. You're not going to attract a gentleman. You might, it's rare, but I would say 9 times out of 10, you're going to attract a dog. So don't, you know, but to me, the whole thing seemed like a trap. Again, I think Monique warned Shannon Sharp about it, and he jokingly kind of laughed it off a little bit, which kind of brings me to my next point with Travis Hunter. This past draft, he got drafted number 2 overall and went to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And honestly, I think that's a great place for him to go for now. I mean, it's his home state. I'm not really sure exactly where his hometown is, but I know he lives in Florida, and I'm pretty sure Jacksonville probably isn't that far from where his hometown is. But Florida knows him. Florida loves him. He has his roots down there. People have been following him down there since high school and stuff. So I feel like that'd be a good following for him. Um, so I guess my only thought about him is, I saw a video clip this morning on YouTube or whatever, like a short, and it was Lil Wayne sitting next to him, and it was like the moment before he got drafted. And he got really super excited, and the family started hugging him and stuff. And then I was just looking in the comments, and then somebody made a comment saying that his girl's like hella pregnant or something like that. And I was like, wait, what? And so I went back and re-looked at it, and I'm like, dang, she got like a little baby bump or something, like I'm like, where did that come from? And so I guess what I'm trying to say is, does anybody know? Because I don't. I mean, I follow him on Instagram, but I really don't follow him like that anymore. Because I mean, honestly, he, I was never for him dating that girl because I just never felt like she was for him or really liked him like that. To me, just looked like another girl that was looking for a big payday. You know what I mean? And so for me, he always came across as kind of innocent or green. And any guy that's like that, I mean, I'm not gonna make fun of you or make you, if you're green, you're green. I mean, to me, he's the one that said he didn't know who Lil Wayne was, which I thought was weird because I feel like most black people at least have heard of Lil Wayne. I mean, my dad doesn't listen to rap, but he's heard of Lil Wayne. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so when he said he hadn't heard Lil Wayne, I'm thinking like, man, this guy's super green. And there's nothing wrong with that. But with that being said, Leanna, his girl, is not green. And I felt like there was just people around him just circling around him like some sharks, just trying to get a piece of the pie while they could. And at one point the whole internet was telling or trying to warn this man, like, leave her alone before it's too late. Don't get her pregnant, or don't get married, or put your assets in your mama's name or something. And he did not want to listen. And so, he looks happy. I hope that that girl's treating him right. Um, to me, she doesn't really look like she cares that much. But I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is, someone let me know in the comments if she's pregnant or not. I mean, somebody made a comment on another video, and I want confirmation, because like I said, I really don't follow them like the way I used to. And of course, if you make a comment about Travis, like, he's gonna get all butthurt and act like the whole world's against him and stuff. But yeah, we was just looking after you. But I mean, if you got her pregnant, I mean, good luck, buddy. I mean, hopefully y'all can make it last, and that's everything that you ever wanted. And hopefully it doesn't turn into something else, like a nightmare versus a dream. So, um, but I guess when I think about the Shannon Sharp situation and then the Travis Hunter situation, to me the similar things that they both kind of laughed off the situations. You got Monique trying to warn Shannon Sharp, saying, "Hey, you need to leave these young girls alone," and he's just like, "I'm just gonna get giggling, just giggling, right?" And then Travis Hunter the same way, like, "Oh, y'all ain't never had no girl," like this giggling, acting like nobody knows what they're talking about until it's too late. So hopefully, even if she's pregnant, at this point, if she's pregnant, you might as well marry her. You know, you might as well try to make it work. I just hope that you have peace and that she doesn't treat you wrong, man. I mean, because these girls don't care, man. They will drag you down so quick and just have zero remorse. That they don't care if you lose everything because of them. They just don't care. You know what I mean? And so, just not just to Travis Hunter, just to any male, just be careful, man. Stack your money. For me, I try to lean on God for direction, but uh, for the people who aren't religious, I mean, just try to look after yourselves, man. Like, I mean, I know these girls look good, and maybe they even sound good or talk good, but don't go by what they're talking about. Go by what they're actually doing. Look at how they're treating you. Look at how they're talking to you. Pay attention to all that. If they're disrespectful, just know that they probably don't respect you. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I got from Travis Hunter's girl. Like, just the little interviews that I used to look at, she was always kind of talking down to him a little bit. And, I told myself I wasn't going to talk about it too much because the whole world was talking about it. And, after Travis Hunter kind of got off social media, um, I guess that was his way of saying, F the world and their opinions. This is my girl. That's when I quit saying something to him, because, like, well, I mean, now you're just being hard headed. You know what I mean? And, at least Samson was hard headed too. You know what I mean? But hopefully, I'm wishing the best for Travis. It's just kind of making me nervous because I don't think he knows what he's getting himself into, really. Like, again, just like old Onk. I mean, Onk's way older than Travis. You know what I mean? So he has more wisdom than Travis, but he still got caught up. You know, so I don't know. Like, but for me, while that girl, for the Shannon Sharp situation, while she's calling rape or whatever, if I was her dad, I would be asking her, "Why are you on the internet anyway, showing off your body? Do you not know that these are the type of people that you attract?" That's what I would tell her. And we need more fathers to explain it to their daughters, because these girls, I mean, they're just following a Cardi B culture. And they think just, twerking and showing their bodies is just the move these days. And it's just like, I mean, nobody's stopping you, but you can't complain when you find a dog and that dog ruins your life. But anyways, y'all take it easy, stay blessed, stay safe out there, and just be careful, y'all. Stay up.